A moving company can generate thousands of dollars in revenue before lunch. It can also lose money on a fully booked schedule. That's the paradox of this industry. From the outside, moving looks like a simple business: a truck, a crew, and a customer. But underneath is a surprisingly complex set of numbers that determines whether you're building a cash flow machine or a logistical nightmare. Today, we're putting the entire business under a microscope and following the math. We often think of moving as just heavy lifting, but in 2026, with rising fuel costs and labor shortages, the moving industry has become a high-stakes game of operational efficiency. We are going to break down the startup capital, the revenue per hour mechanics, the hidden costs of damage, and the tightrope of labor management. The startup costs, the heavy metal. Let's look at the capital required to start a legitimate local moving company in the US. 1. The truck. This is your primary asset. You need a box truck, typically a 16 to 26 footer. A used international or freightliner with decent mileage costs $35,000 to $50,000. You can lease one to lower the entry barrier, but that adds to your monthly burn rate. 2. Moving equipment. You need the tools to protect the furniture. Professional moving blankets, dollies, hand trucks, ramps, and tie-down straps. A full setup for one truck costs $2,000 to $3,000. 3. Licensing and authority. For local moves, you need state permits. For interstate moves, you need federal DOT authority and an MC number. This process involves insurance filings and fees, initial licensing and insurance down payment, $3,000 to $5,000. 4. Marketing. Moving is competitive. You need to rank on Google or pay for leads. A basic website, logo, and local SEO setup cost $2,000. The startup math summary: truck, $40,000. Equipment, $2,500. Licensing, $4,000. Marketing, $2,000. Total startup capital, $48,500. You are entering the game with a roughly $50,000 investment. This is a real business. The good news? The barrier to entry stops the get-rich-quick crowd. The bad news? You have overhead the moment you buy the truck. The revenue per hour, the clock is ticking. Moving companies typically charge in one of two ways: flat rate or hourly. Most local movers use the hourly model because it protects them from slow packing jobs. Let's look at the hourly math for a standard two-man crew with a truck in a mid-sized US city. The average market rate is $120 to $160 per hour. This includes the truck and two movers. Let's use $140 per hour as our baseline. Most companies have a 2 or 3 hour minimum. This ensures the job is worth the travel time. Let's say the minimum is 3 hours. A typical apartment move takes 4 hours. Travel time to the job, 30 minutes. Load time, 2 hours. Drive to new location, 30 minutes. Unload time, 1 hour. Total time from dispatch to completion, 4 hours. The bill: 4 hours times $140 equals $560, plus a truck fee or fuel surcharge, typically $50 to $100. Total invoice, $650. You just generated $650 in revenue before lunch. If you do 2 jobs in a day, which is standard, that is $1,300 in revenue. On paper, this looks like a money printer, but we haven't paid the crew or the gas yet. The labor equation, the margin squeeze. The highest variable cost in this business is labor. You cannot automate the lifting. You need human bodies. The labor cost. Movers are skilled laborers. In 2026, finding reliable help is the hardest part of the business. Wages range from $18 to $25 per hour for experienced movers. Let's say you pay $20 per hour. You have 2 movers for 4 hours. That is $160 in direct labor. Plus payroll taxes and workers' comp add roughly 20%. Total labor cost, $192. The profit calculation on one job: revenue, $650. Labor cost, $192. Fuel cost, let's estimate $40 for the day so far. Gross profit, $418. This looks like a healthy margin. But here's the catch: the dead time. Movers are paid by the hour. If there is a gap between job 1 and job 2, or if a job finishes early, you are still paying them to sit in the truck. If a customer cancels, you still pay the crew for their time if they showed up. Efficiency is everything. If your dispatcher messes up the schedule and creates gaps, your profit evaporates. Understanding the cost of every idle hour is what separates a profitable company from a bankrupt one. It's all about growth from here. Hit that subscribe if you're ready to level up your strategy. The hidden costs: damages and claims. This is the high-stress part of the title. Accidents happen. A dropped TV, a scratched hardwood floor, a torn sofa. The math of damages can turn a profitable month into a loss. The insurance reality: Customers often think their items are fully insured. They are not. Standard moving coverage often pays by weight, roughly 60 cents per pound. If a 50-pound TV breaks, the customer gets $30. They will be furious. To be professional, you need full value protection insurance. The damage math. Let's say you have a claim. You broke a customer's dining table. Cost to repair or replace, $800. Your insurance deductible, $1,000. You have to pay the $800 out of pocket. How many jobs does it take to recover $800? At $400 net profit per job, you need to do 2 perfect jobs just to pay for 1 mistake. If you have a bad month with 3 major claims, you could lose $2,400 in pure profit. This forces you to hire better movers, which costs more money, or spend more on packing materials to protect the furniture. Damage control is a silent profit killer. The overhead, the monthly burn. Let's look at the monthly cost to keep the doors open. 1. Truck expenses, diesel, maintenance, tires, and insurance. Commercial auto insurance for a moving truck is expensive. Monthly cost, $1,500. 2. Marketing, you need leads. Google local services ads charge per lead. Moving leads are expensive, often costing $30 to $60 per lead. If you buy 30 leads a month, that is $1,500. 3. Office and storage. You need a parking yard for the truck, ideally a warehouse for storage revenue. Rent, $1,000. 4. Administrative. Dispatch software, phone lines, accounting. Monthly cost, $300. Total monthly burn rate, $4,300. To break even, you need to clear $4,300 in profit just to cover these fixed costs. If your average net profit per move is $400, you need to complete 11 moves a month just to pay your bills and the truck note. Everything after move 11 is your salary. This sounds easy, but remember, moves happen mostly at the end of the month. The 1st and the 30th are chaotic. The middle of the month can be dead. You might make $10,000 profit in the last week of the month and $0 in the middle. Cash flow management is critical. You have to save the money from the busy weeks to pay the truck note in the slow weeks. The verdict, is it worth it? So, is a moving business a goldmine or a nightmare? It is a goldmine if you master operations. The demand is always there. People move for jobs, family, and lifestyle regardless of the economy. The revenue per hour is high compared to almost any other service business. Scaling is possible. Once you have the systems in place for Crew 1, you can buy a second truck and hire Crew 2. A 3-truck operation doing 20 moves a week can generate $150,000 plus in net profit per year for the owner. It is a nightmare if you ignore the details. If you hire cheap, unreliable labor, your damages will skyrocket. You are disorganized, your trucks will drive empty miles, burning fuel without billing. You lack customer service skills, your reputation on Google will tank, and leads will dry up. The final math. Startup, $50,000. Potential revenue, year 1, $200,000 to $300,000. Potential net profit, $60,000 to $100,000. Moving is not just hauling boxes. It is logistics management, risk management, and human resource management rolled into one. The stress is high because the variables are high. But for those who can systemize the chaos, the profit margins are incredibly attractive. If this breakdown helped you see the reality behind this business, let me know in the comments. And if you want to see the math behind other service industries, hit that subscribe button. We have a lot more to uncover.